So rumor has it that the Washington Commanders could be potentially listening to trade offers for defensive end Chase Young and Montez Sweat as the trade deadline approaches. Let's talk about it.
How I feel? Blessed. What I want?
Get back slow. I love the way she rock it. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she pop her hips, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner. She's confident. I love the way she move it.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be addressing a rumor, but it kinda feels like it could be true. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please help me get there as soon as possible. Also subscribe to my other channel. I'm 3 subscribers away from 100. That is Juan Gotti's Real Life. That is the same page where my podcast is going to be on, High Off Words. I just changed the name because it's going to be videos of my real life outside of this. So please go ahead and subscribe to that. The link down below is in the description. Thank you so much. Let's get to it. So the Washington Commanders potentially could be listening to trade offers for Montez Sweat and Chase Young. Now, it is currently a rumor, but it's some rumors that I kind of feel like could be true. Now, as we know, the trade deadline is slowly approaching. We have up until October 31st to, do all trades, do all, all things that we're going to do as far as the team getting better or we selling off pieces. Now, let me read you guys this rumor. It says one AFC executive believes the Commanders would at least listen to trade offers for pass rusher Chase Young and Montez Sweat. However, betting odds on one or both of them being dealt should not be great. Source told Fowler, Washington as of now has very much sees both in its future. The strength is their defensive line. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. That last portion I just read to you, they consider seeing them in our future, kind of makes me feel like, all along we've been talking about Washington only been able to sign one of these guys, or shoot, some people even was like, get rid of them both. None of them is really, having a great year so far. But having them in our future basically makes me feel like they probably want them both back. You know what I'm saying? We haven't even talked about that really. We talked a little bit about it, but like we never really talked about the possibility of both of these guys being back. Now, obviously, we know both of these guys want the bag, but what if these guys are realists, right? What if Chase Young realized he hasn't necessarily lived up to that second overall pick as of right now? So opposed to us assuming that he's gonna want top end money, what if he just signs a 1 year, 2 year prove it deal or something, or maybe even signs a 3 year minimum deal, something like that, knowing that he already has the money from a first round pick. Now, again, that's just thinking rational and thinking as a team player. He probably is going to chase the money, but let's be for real. If Chase Young is being genuine and being honest with his play up until this point, it isn't worthy enough of, top end defensive end money just yet. You know what I'm saying? And he's only, 23, 24 years old. So if he signs a little 2-year deal or 1-year deal, he can still cash in. He's still going to be relatively young. But as of right now, I don't think Chase Young has proven enough to get that big bag. So we could very well bring Chase Young back on a friendly deal if we wanted to. We could potentially franchise tag one of these guys and then pay the other one. Now, the thing that I've had concerns with is Chase Young wanting to be here in Washington specifically. I still think to this day that once free agency hits, Chase Young is going to be on another team next year. I'm not going to say Washington doesn't offer him a contract or doesn't offer him one back. I just genuinely think Chase Young would prefer to have a fresh start elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's not saying Washington doesn't necessarily want him back. And then as far as Montez Sweat, I feel like he's the likely one to come back here. But even with Tez, I feel like Tez has earned more than Chase Young, but he still isn't like worthy of this top end defensive end money. I kind of feel like we have thought that, you know what I'm saying, have thought that these guys are going to ask for outrageous money. I don't think so. Both of these guys have the same agent, so I feel like if their agency is going to be smart and not try to just think all about the money and think about his career path, it would be smart for these guys to get a reasonable deal, but not nothing like Nick Bosa, TJ Watt kind of bread. You feel me? So I think that's where I'm at with it. It's just a rumor, but I genuinely think they are listening to callers. Why wouldn't you listen to callers? There's nobody on this roster outside of Terry McLaurin, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Tress Way. Who else? I would even probably throw Kendall Fuller in that mix. That's not off the table. That's off the table. You know, other than that, and Sam Howell. But other than that, you should be fielding calls for everybody else. You know, nobody else outside of those main guys that I named. And everybody knows the main guys. So if I miss somebody, y'all know who shouldn't really be on the list if I didn't mention their name. But I feel like I did get all the key guys. They off the table. Everybody else, you should be able to listen calls for them. Listen calls for Jahan Dawson. Listen calls for all these guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily to say that we want them gone, but you never know what you can get. The thing is, when you lose one of these guys, if you in fact do, you're going to get a compensatory pick for one of them. So you're not necessarily losing out on just these guys. If you I want to know if you let them walk or if you should trade. I think it's both, but I know free agency you get a compensatory pick. I'm not 100% sure if you get a compensatory pick if you trade them, but I want to say you do. But I don't think so because you're getting compensation back from the trade. So we'll have to do more research on that. But if you let one of these guys walk in free agency, you are going to get a compensatory pick for sure. So that could be something to think about. Washington, in my opinion, should be buyers, if anything, at the deadline. But knowing Washington, we are going to we're going to stand still, okay? Especially under new ownership. We're not going to be no buyers, no sellers at the deadline. At least I don't think we're going to be sellers at the deadline. I think we're going to go with what we got. And as we should, okay? Chase Young, Montez, they haven't been like the best. They've been cool. They haven't been like game changers this year, but they've been cool. You know what I'm saying? They haven't been worthy enough of being traded. They haven't been worthy enough of extra contracts. So you might as well just keep rocking out with what you got at this point. Washington is in the mix of the NFC East right now. We're not the Giants. If we're the Giants right now, then yeah, we're selling off everything. I'm listening to calls for everybody. But we're in a situation to where we're one game away from potentially being back in the NFC East race. So if anything, we should be buyers. We should be ready to lock and load for this upcoming stretch of games that we got. These are very, very important. So I think it's just a rumor, but I think the rumor holds weight. However, I don't think Washington is genuinely looking, unless they get an offer that they can refuse, that they can't refuse, like a second round pick. If you give me a second round pick for Chase Young right now, I would do it. I would do it. Because Casey Toohill, even though he's not a starter, but you can survive with Casey Toohill for the rest of the year. We survived without Chase Young for a whole year, bro. So we know what it is without Chase Young. Montez Sweat is the guy that I'm looking at like, hey, look, I know Tez hasn't been like amazing, or he isn't no TJ Watt, Michael Parsons kind of guy, but we haven't really survived without Montez Sweat for a long stretch. He's missed a couple games here and there, broken jaw, personal reasons, but he hasn't missed like a whole season. We missed the whole season with Chase Young, so we know we can survive, and arguably you can say we're better without Chase Young on that field. So I wouldn't mind moving on from Chase Young for a second round pick if that's what somebody's willing to offer. But the likelihood is nobody's going to be offering nothing crazy for Chase Young at this current moment. So you're better off just keeping him, either franchise tagging him, giving him if he's willing to take a reasonable 1 year prove a deal, 2 year reasonable deal, or let him walk in free agency. Because again, you're guaranteed to get a compensatory pick. Sorry about that. If you let him walk, so it's some decisions to be made. But my honest opinion, and me knowing Ron Rivera and this coaching staff like the back of my hand, and knowing the state that we're in, it's not rocket science to figure it out because we're all diehards here. We know this team ain't doing nothing. We know Chase Young. We know Montez Sweat. We know these guys gonna be here. We not gonna make no type of noise at the trade deadline. In fact, if we do make any kind of move at the trade deadline, I am going to be flabbergasted. I'm going to be surprised. When's the last time we made a trade deadline move that I can remember? Was it Clinton Dix? Was that the last time we made a genuine trade deadline move? Maybe was David Sharp at the deadline? I don't know, but I know we rarely make any kind of moves at the deadline. So again, like I said, it would just be totally surprised if I see Chase Young and Montez Sweat, or anybody for that matter, moved at the trade deadline. That doesn't mean that Washington isn't doing their due diligence to fill callers. They should. Because again, you don't know what you would come across. But I highly doubt any team is willing to give up anything like second round pick for Chase Young at this current moment. So that's just what I wanted to come here to talk about today. There's a rumor. It's a rumor, okay, but we know, again, if you follow this team closely like I do and you listen to the videos, we know it's a rumor, but we know it's a high likely rumor. Unlike the JT jump, unlike the Jonathan Taylor one where y'all heard that Washington was potentially interested in running back Jonathan Taylor. I didn't really make a video about it because I didn't believe it. This right here, I could believe. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I believe that we're fielding callers for Chase Young and Montez Sweat. You know what I'm saying? The trade deadline is near, and Washington is in a mix in the middle of the NFC right now as a whole conference. So, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments section. Washington's defensive end Chase Young and Montez Sweat are both potentially on the trade docket, on the trade deck. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. As always, it's been boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. See y'all later. I'm out. Peace.